Right. So I am here with Liz, my lovely client and beautiful friend. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering, Liz, if you would tell us a little bit about you and what you do and how you shine your light in the world.
Well, I think the way I shine my light in the world, and I'm talking from many years' experience as I'm aging gracefully, um, that when I look back, I see that the way I shine my light is through my gift of teaching. And I've been a teacher since I was 23. And I'm just retiring from a mentoring university job and approaching my age of 70. So I have all of this experience, and I like to think back of all of the lives that I've touched and how children would love coming into my art room and creating things with no fear or no stress and just free flowing.
Yeah.
So, and I enjoy that, and that makes me shine. So, doing that and, working with from the youngest to adults, it's been definitely the highlight of my life as far as bringing my light to other people. I'm also a mother, and that requires different kinds of light, but still, um, just to always, I like to think that I'm an optimist. And when I'm in my relationships, I bring a lot of joy and laughter and optimism.
You definitely do. And what a generous soul and spirit you have. And I love the idea.
Well,
Yeah. And the feeling of kids coming in and creating freely and being so excited and having that. I don't have the right words, but I get the goosebumps about it. That, like, joy and freedom, I guess, are the best words. And, like you said, you work with people of all ages. And I think that's so beautiful and important because we want that for everybody to create with freedom
yes,
and
of
joy.
course.
Yes. Yeah, really, really lovely. And of course, you didn't really say, but you're a very strong artist in your own right.
Well, I have some blocks there that I'm working through. And one of the reasons of my retirement is to find my own creative growth again and branch out in different directions. So that's a goal of mine moving forward.
So, getting into the work we've done together and the things you've experienced as a result of that, I'm curious how you first chose me and found me.
Well, I found you through my daughter. We were both looking for a spiritual advisor, and being new to California, we didn't know a lot of people. But I don't know how she got your name, but it was around my birthday, so I like getting my cards read close to my birthday. Uh, so we both came in, you read mine, and then you read hers. And we asked questions, and you were very intuitive and thoughtful with your answers. And on our way home, we were just like, oh my God, I feel, different. I feel like there's somebody out there channeling through you that, can communicate and connect the dots somewhat. So that was a very positive experience. And from that point on, we both just work with you and together or different ways. And yeah, I feel that I I always like to use you for your intuitive energy, and that you're one of the few spiritual advisors I've had that can really read me. And I just feel a connection towards that. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
thank
all good.
thank
That's
you.
how I found you.
lovely reflection. Yeah. Um, and I appreciate that that feedback about you feel I'm one of the few who can read for you. That's strong. It's powerful. And I know we've worked together in a few different ways, and so I'm curious
Hmm.
about any of like problems or issues that were solved for you as we worked together.
Yes. Yeah. With regard to relationships, where I have this wave of, up and down with relationships, and was not really sure where how that all developed or anything. So you helped me tremendously with some serious relationship problems that were really hurting me, and I was lugging it around like this big weight. And you have helped me. The cards or the intuitive skills that you brought in help put my life in perspective. And yeah, I wanted to say that, and which encouraged me to move forward with better awareness.
Right. Yeah.
And when things would happen or trigger me, I would be able to take a breath and just kind of sit with it instead of it creating havoc.
Yeah.
And that skill that I learned has really benefited me many, many times over, way, since that initial card reading. And I also love that you're able to address um, some of my childhood problems. Since I never knew my grandmothers, and I have such a strong connection to women, and I feel like I really lacked that guidance and wisdom from my crones when I was young, and my mother died when I was in my 40s. So I really miss that. And you were able to connect me with that. I'm sure you remember because it was extremely moving. And I was able to address, you were able to help me address my own personal problems um, through messages from my spiritual guides, my ancestors, and my allies. So, and that was really strong that you brought that in. So that's how you solved a lot of problems, were kind of, I didn't even know I had, until I got your feedback, and then I meditated on, which I always do after our readings and conferences and recordings that you would leave me. So yeah, it yeah, helped me with a wide arrangement of things.
Yeah, and one of the most powerful things I remember about some of our times together is I remember you sent me a message that said, thank you for teaching me how to just listen and let it come through myself. And personally, I felt like, yes, like that's what I'm here to do is to teach and give everything that I know how to do to my clients. And it made me feel so wonderful to get that message. I was really like elated with that. And it's
That
important what
might
you
have been after,
good.
yeah, about the intuitive workshop. That probably came out after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and oh, I was going to say, it's so important what you said about when we have those moments of triggering discord, disagreement, life upsets us and challenges us. It that ability to get yourself in a place to respond rather than immediately react is so valuable. Like you said, I mean, getting that skill in place will really
It
serve.
takes practice.
Yeah. Oh,
It really
absolutely.
takes practice, and you have to be very aware when it's happening. So it's helped me, like stop talking, when I'm rambling, which I do, so, and listen and pay attention, and then think, and then listen, feel, and then react. or respond. React is the wrong word, respond. Yeah. So definitely.
Really powerful. So, how does it feel to you like when you're in the responsive state versus the reactive state?
In control, definitely in control. And I feel like it gives me more power. I feel like I'm able to use boundaries better. And I can, I just feel more responsible and more secure with that skill and doing where we learned all those grounding skills and how to listen for messages and be quiet and open doors and shut them, creating our psychic, boundaries and shields, all of those things. And I go through my notes from the journal, um, often, not as often now because I can just sit and like
Right. Now
room
you know it, yeah.
immediately get rooted to the core of the earth
Mhm.
and extract from that what I need to solve my problem, or just honing my skills. And thanks to you, I know how to do that now, and I never knew how to do that before. So the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they really
Endless
are.
power.
They really are. And I think that my clients, especially when they're first coming with me, and just the people in the world in general, get so caught up in thinking like we're limited. And yeah, like the world is hard and life presents obstacles to come before us. But in the deepest truth of things, that unlimited possibility is actually what's happening. And I
And that
love that you.
is what saves me and probably a lot of your clients, um, from not breaking down over what's happening in our world. Uh, Most of us are in distress with that. But knowing that we are doing everything that we can personally and for our fellow friends, male, female, doesn't matter. We accept everybody, and we have our human rights that shouldn't be taken care of. And so um, it's not that I ignore what's going on in the world. I'm very much involved with it, but I think that the skills that I've learned from you and just from my own meditation that have helped me just to um, sit with it.
Yeah, it's really
So,
important to be able to find the personal peace within to be able to take action in the world to change things for the better. And I so
yeah,
firmly believe that if we're like super agitated and then go take the action, like it doesn't have the same effect. It does not have the same effect
yeah,
when
yeah.
we're trying to make the world a better place, which the people who come into my world definitely are trying to make the world a better place. Yeah.
Definitely. And I believe that that is out there, that the world is going to be a good place and we're going to save the planet. Maybe not you and me in our lifetimes, but maybe the generations to follow um, will be able to, get it right. And if not, then that's the karmic of the universe. So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I can't control that.
That's all right.
So I could just be the best that I can be
That's exactly right.
and help people along the way.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
it.
100%. Yeah. So, who do you think, or what type of person do you think would benefit from working with me?
Well, I've already brought several friends for readings and such. So anybody who wants to go within, anybody who has that desire to look within themselves and use you and your intuitive skills and get a perspective of their life, especially if they're unhappy. Like I'm usually not an unhappy person. I'm happy and even optimist, even when I'm heartbroken.
Yes, yes.
I know that it's not the end of the world. It's just something I have to move through in my life. It's that kind of a hard journey, like going into the underworld and coming back out, and the whole phoenix rising and all of
Exactly.
that. I look at those archetypes and I can relate to them. So um, yeah, I think anybody who wants to uh, go deep, um, understand on a higher level what's out there for us, and be open minded. People that are not, and I know people that would probably not care to do any of that, and that's fine with them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just feel that they're missing out. That's all.
Yeah, I think what you said, that's kind of like my whole deal. When you're saying like travel through the underworld, or if you're unhappy and you want a bigger, different perspective and higher perspective, my whole mission is to help people heal themselves so that they can help heal humanity so that we can heal the earth. And that
That's exactly
undercurrent,
right.
yeah, that undercurrent of joy, even when things are like personally going poorly or societally going poorly, keeping that undercurrent, you were calling it optimism, of joy, just like thrumming in your heart, is so, so, so important. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah,
And I'm
beautiful.
glad you brought up the self healing too, because
Yes.
that kind of goes unsaid. Because when you're practicing your skills, that's also healing constantly. You're constantly healing too. So it's nice. I'm really, I don't want to say I'm lucky to have my life. I've had, a lot of um, horrible things happen, but I'm still standing.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and
right.
and and I'm doing okay, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
So uh, it's all good. I'm
Yes.
I'm happy, and I worked towards my happiness, and I was loved as a child, so I was blessed with loving parents, even though there was dysfunction. Didn't matter. Deep down inside, I knew I was deeply loved, and I think that that's helped me to love, so easily, because that is a blessing. It's not luck, it's a blessing. And since you contacted my ancestors, now I totally get it. So that was the most, you asked a question like, what was the most exciting,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
when you gave me a little preview. And that was above all the most exciting session I've ever had with you. And I'm just so glad that I recorded it, or
Yeah.
kept the recording, because I do listen to it
Yeah.
when I need to have my grandmas around me. And you
Uh-huh.
said they always have my back.
Yeah.
So I always imagine them like being right around me. And I have their pictures. So I just imagine them looking like their earthly form. But, I'm sure they're all just light.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Liz. It's always
Oh, well,
like
thank
the
you for
hugest
asking.
joy to talk to you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. It's always such a joy to be with you, Sequoia.
Well, we'll talk again soon.
Okay, great.